Hello everyone and welcome to Where is Xur, IGN's weekly show where we find Xur and we look at his inventory together. Today you can find Xur on Nessus. He's over here in the north in the Watcher's Grave, so let's go and see what he's offering this week. Once you land on Nessus, go ahead and get on your Sparrow, go straight ahead, and you're going to want to find Xur on that tree directly in front of you. Alright, here is Xur. Let's see what he's selling this week. So first up in the exotic category, we've got Lord of Wolves. This is a great shotgun. At times it's been good, at times it's been bad in Destiny's meta, but if you don't have it, you definitely should. So go ahead and buy that. Then we've got Lucky Pants. These are a great hunter exotic. Unfortunately, only 64 stats, which really isn't great for an exotic. It does have very spiky resilience though, so maybe that's worth it for you, but I wouldn't recommend it. Antaeus Wards, which is without a doubt the best exotic in the game if you're a PvP tryhard like me who really enjoys this thing. This roll, 65, is just okay as far as exotics go. It also doesn't really have any spiky stats, so maybe it'll round you out as an exotic, but it's not amazing, but it is the best roll we've got this week, unfortunately. And finally, we've got Nezarec Sin. This is really spiky, which actually I kind of love. It's got really high recovery, really high intellect. Depending on your build, this could be super useful. The downside is, of course, it only has 64 stats overall, which is really just low for an exotic. So kind of three underwhelming exotics. However, on Hawkmoon and Dead Man's Tale, actually, I guess it's not however, it's in addition to, these are also kind of just okay. The Hawkmoon roll is almost identical to a roll that Xur gave us, I think, 2 weeks ago. I think it has one different perk, Hammer Forged Rifling. It's okay. It's good. You could definitely do a lot worse with Hawkmoon. Dead Man's Tale also is just okay. It's got Killing Wind, which is great. Flared Magwell. You know, it's not the best perks in the world on this gun. Also, it just got nerfed, but you could pick it up. Nothing wrong with that if you're in need of one. Moving on to legendary weapons, I think we did a little bit better with our legendaries than we did with our exotics with Xur this week. And we'll get to the highlight, which is everybody got really good armor rolls this week, which is great. However, we've got 7th Seraph Carbine, Elemental Capacitor, Threat Detector. This isn't not a very good roll. Probably wouldn't buy that. GN7, I am partial to this weapon. For one, it's kind of hard to find primary weapons that do arc damage, and this is a very good one. Super useful if you're doing, a master, what do you call them? Lost Sector. Geez, it took me a while to get to that. It's also got Zen Moment and Rampage, so I really like this weapon and this roll. Range Masterwork. This is a great one to have in your back pocket, especially as we go into Lightfall. You never know when you're going to need to do arc damage. Ikelos SMG, I'm really interested in this weapon. I actually think it might be great. First of all, it's got Shot Swap, which Final Blows build and store charges, which allow you to swap and stow this weapon at faster rate. It's also got a Handling Masterwork, which means you're going to be swapping even faster. Tap the Trigger, which is great, and Rasputin's Arsenal. So I see this as a great PvP weapon, maybe even PvE, where you're swapping weapons in and out and getting into combat quickly. These two perks and the Masterwork, I mean, those are going to go together deliciously. I might pick this one up just to play around with it because it just seems like it could be really good. Also, submachine guns rule. Cool. First in, last out. Outlaw, Eye of the Storm. Outlaw is great. Eye of the Storm, not amazing on shotguns. I think this is an inoffensive roll, but it's not a god roll. Grab it if you need it. We've got Far Future with Surplus and Frenzy. I actually like both Frenzy and Surplus on sniper rifles. Overall, I'd say this is probably a pretty decent roll. I have to think about it a little bit more. But yeah, it's not immediately jumping out to me as a god roll, so might be worth a shot, worth looking into. Honor's Edge, I feel like he sells this every week. It's a good sword if you need it, but there are certainly betters out there. And then finally, he's got Crown Splitter. Oh, this is interesting. This weapon is actually different. On the last time I went to him, he was selling Infinity Sword, which is totally different. All right, well, it's another sword. This appears to be what he's selling in the game. Yeah, I mean, grab this if you need it, but neither of these swords are really anything to write home about. There's better legendary swords out there, and in fact, Xur sells them quite frequently. Let's move on to armor now. We've got Vigil of Heroes Gauntlets. This is 64 roll, which is great for a legendary piece of armor. Nothing is spiky about it, but it's reliable. So maybe pick this up if you need it. Chess piece is the star of the show. And I guess the headline of this week is that everyone got a really good roll, at least one this week, and they all have really high resilience, which is awesome because resilience is the meta right now. Starting with Titans, they've got 24 resilience, and they also have pretty decent strength, 16, 12 discipline. Everything else is low. I wish mobility was lower, but still, this is a great roll. This is probably a god roll right here for Titans. Really good. Helmet, 60, probably a skip. Boots, 63. Not bad. It's got decent resilience, but, you know, we've seen better boots. I think the Hunters have a better pair of boots this week, or the Warlocks. So we'll get to that. Let's go ahead and move over to Warlocks. All right, let's check out Warlock's armor. So Warlocks also got one really, really good piece here. It is the boots for them. Yeah, so the boots, this is great. I mean, it's got 2 mobility, which is great. You're really trimming the fat on mobility. That's the lowest you can get. 30 resilience, 15 discipline, 10 strength, 66 overall stats. This is great. What a great roll. 30 resilience alone, you should pick this up. Grab this for your Warlock. Grab it, please. The helmet, 58, skip. The chest piece, definitely skip, although, you know, it's spiky. It's got some nice mobility, but 58, definitely not worth picking up probably. And then it's got these 63 gloves as well, which is not bad. 20 in intellect. Might be worth picking up. 63 is probably the lowest I'd go if you're build crafting. But yeah, those boots, man, please buy these if you don't have one. I mean, this is a great roll. And that's it for Warlocks. Let's go ahead and check out Hunters. All right, and let's finish off by looking at that Hunter armor. So like everyone else, Hunters have a really good resilience roll here, and it is the chest piece like the Titans. So they've got 24 resilience, 6 mobility, and then a pretty even stat distribution across discipline, intellect, and strength. Recovery is also really low. This is a great roll for Hunters. You're not, you know, usually Hunters care a little bit more about mobility, so that's no big loss. Recovery being 2 doesn't particularly hurt you in today's meta, and everything else is looking good. So this is great, man. I would say this is easily a god roll. The gloves here are pretty decent. 63, 18 mobility, could be good. The helmet's bad, and the boots are also bad. So yeah, I mean, really everybody just got one really killer piece of armor going into Lightfall. So that is it for this week, guys. Hopefully this was useful for you. Lightfall comes out in a couple days, and I am super excited to play it and work on IGN's review. This is going to be awesome. And for everything else related to Destiny and Xur, of course, stick with IGN.
The Heliosheath is not the only door